Living the life.
Yo, if Alfred was black, son,
You're right.
Alfred came home, would have been niggas all in the crib.
Hey man, Alfred is the original squatter.
And Alfred got a slick mouth too. When Batman came back,
he do got a slick monks,
mouth. He got his ass whooped by Bane. And if I was Alfred, I'd be like, man, shut up. You just got beat up. Shut up.
You got beat up by a dude with a megaphone. Like, get out.
Yeah, talking through a voice box. You got whooped your ass. Shut up.
Say, welcome to McDonald's, man. I'll take your order, face ass.
Alfred said, hey, this is why Batman not a superhero, because Alfred said, shut up, you take the trash out.
Hey, made me thinking of David Ruffin. Batman dealing with Superman, and everybody come to see Superman, and nobody come to see Batman.
They came to see the Justice League. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Bruce.
Sit your ass down. Talking about I'm about to pop the trunk. That's the only thing you can do is pop the trunk.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. This is Open Gym Sports and Culture. This is the show where we discuss everything that's going on in the world of sports and, of course, everything that's going on within culture. I am your host, Big Dave, and this is part of the OOC Network and the BAWL Sports Network. Now, of course, we have a wonderful panel with us, as we always do every single week. Let me go and introduce them to y'all, shall I? Let me start with my main man, Terrance. Terrance, how are you, my friend?
What's happening? You know what I'm saying? We over here living, surviving COVID, you know? That's how we do.
We got my main man, Feast is Famine, a.k.a. Tone. What up, bro?
What up?
How are you?
Man, good, brother. How you feeling?
Man, I'm always beautiful. You got the wonderful hat that Blackhawks hat is hitting, bro. Name me 3 players on the Blackhawks.
A couple of guys, another guy, and then there's Patrick Kane.
That's the correct starting order. Absolutely. One of the great things about being on Twitter is me getting to meet wonderful people like our next guest right here. My main man always repping LA hard and to the fullest. BTG, Baylor The Great. What's happening, bro?
What's good, man?
Good to see you, brother. Thanks for coming and doing this, man. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Appreciate the invite.
Live in the flesh.
Live in the flesh. Well, let's get to it then. Let's not waste no time. Let's get right to it. The NBA trade deadline has come and gone, and even though there were some big moves, it's more surprising about who didn't get moved. Victor Oladipo traded to the Miami Heat for Kelly Olynyk, Avery Bradley, and draft pick compensation. Gary Trent Jr. was sent to Toronto for Norman Powell. And the biggest trade of the day, the Chicago Bulls acquired 2-time All-Star Nikola Vucevic for 2 bags of sand named Wendell Carter Jr. and Otto Porter Jr. and 2 first-round picks. But what's surprising is the players who were named as guaranteed trades stayed with their teams. Lonzo Ball stays with the New Orleans Pelicans, and Kyle Lowry stays with the Toronto Raptors. Now, BTG, I'm coming to you first because I got 2 questions for you. How surprised were you? What were your surprise and disappointments in the trades? And were you surprised or shocked that the Lakers didn't make any moves?
Well, I wasn't surprised that the Lakers didn't make any move because I think the number one person that's on our radar was Drummond. We didn't start hearing about the Lowry talks until like a couple of days ago, and it started to heat up. But they was asking for too much. You know, we like to get over on people. We don't like to play fair. You know what I mean? And the names that they was going after, they played a very valuable role last year in the playoffs for us. I mean, don't get me wrong, we call them chubs, you know what I mean? But I like Lowry, but not for the pieces, and especially not for THT.
I agree.
Tone, let me ask you, brother.
What's up, bro?
What are your thoughts on the trades that went down? Because I know you got some, man, and I know what team you want to talk about, but tell me your thoughts on this trades. How do you feel, man?
I was shocked that Kyle Lowry wasn't moved. I thought in my mind that Toronto was ready to blow this thing up, and I felt like Kyle Lowry would have been a great piece for a potential championship team. Also looking at the fact that Rondo is a Clipper now, it's quite dangerous, and you gotta like that for the entertainment purposes alone. leaving off a LA Laker championship, and you could possibly be that piece for the Clippers. Maybe. I was very happy with what the Chicago Bulls did. Very aggressive moves. The only thing about Vucevic, the fact that, he's been in the league 9 years. So he's not a young dude. So the Bulls might have him for the next 4 or 5 years, but his contract right now is kind of team friendly. So, that contract won't be rising, it'll be coming down. So I think that's a good look for the Bulls, man. Just a great asset to pick up. Something where Zach can grow. And I just think it's going to be incredible, an incredible offensive team. Defensively, I don't know, but we'll see.
Terrance, my friend, and you also a Lakers fan, sir. So
yes, sir.
Well, I can ask you the same thing as BTG. Were you surprised the Lakers didn't make these moves, and how did you feel about the trade deadline moves overall?
I feel like the NBA trade deadline is a lot of people making moves just for the sake of making moves. And to me, like, do you really get better? I think a lot of times you mess around and get worse. And the Lakers didn't do that. They didn't make a move for the sake of just making a move. I thought that was great. You know what I mean? Because again, if you was going to move Montrezl Harrell, who I think is a very valuable piece, again, the whole purpose for him was to kind of give you what Dwight Howard gave you last year, but, upgrade, a little younger, a little more explosive, get a little more minutes out of him. That's the whole purpose of adding him. And they were talking about him potentially being moved. And I was like, okay, if you're going to move him, then you got to get better somewhere that's going to be important. Again, the big matchup down the road, you got to have your eyes on the Nets. And if you're going to have your eyes on the Nets, then you need to be trying to get better on the wings. You know what I mean? Because that's where all their heat is. Speaking of the Heat, the Heat got who I thought was the biggest piece available today. Victor Oladipo is a superstar. He's like Paul George, but good. People think Paul George is good, and then he gets there and they're like, oh, this looks better on TV. Victor Oladipo is like, people are like, this guy? And then he balls on you. You know what I mean? So,
come on.
Victor Oladipo, that's the guy, man. I think Oladipo going to the Heat, that's a sneaky good move, man. That's a sneaky good move. I think the Heat and that Heat culture might have something to say about the Nets in the playoffs. I mean, the Nets got a lot of firepower, but listen, Oladipo could be the sneaky piece that the Heat need.
You can tell from my attire today how I'm feeling about right now. You know what I'm saying? All the way down, you know what I'm saying, to the shoes, baby.
Yes,
all
sir.
the way down to it. With ball on the side. Just want to toss that to you on the side, baby. So I just want to let that all the way through. That's how we repping it. You know what I'm saying?
I got my Lakers.
This ain't your time right now. 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 Keep in mind, I'm not used to being here right now. I ain't used to being here. I ain't used to being in this place of joy and happiness right now for my team.
It feels good, don't it?
Dude, we got rid of trash. That was the best part about this. There were 3 things I wanted the Bulls to do. 3. I wanted them to get size, I wanted them to get a point guard, and I wanted them to get Lionel Richie off my team. They did 2 of those things when I was ecstatic, and they tried to get Lonzo Ball. I know they did. They tried to get him, but Griffin wanted way too much, and I know if it could have been done, AK would have done it, okay? So I'm not even tripping on that. We could take care of that in the offseason. But what this move signaled to me and to pretty much the league is we trying to win. We not here to wait no more. We trying to win. We have 2 all-stars on our team. Listen, there are 4 players in the league that are averaging 24 points a game and shooting 40% from 3 and shooting 6 3-pointers a game. There are only 4 players in the league doing that. We got 2 of them now on our team. There are 2 all-stars on my squad. I can't even tell you the last time it's been like that. It's that Joe Kimno and Derrick Rose stuff. And we are charged about it, man. So now this is letting me know we are trying to get to the playoffs. We're trying to make some noise. And also what this is what you see in AK do, is this is basically a bootleg Denver Nuggets squad, because Zach LaVine is going to be Jamal Murray and the Joker is going to be Vucevic. Both of their games are very, very similar. Vucevic is a monster, man. 24, 12, 40 from 3, 48% from the field. I'm just ecstatic and I'm just happy, and we got a bunch of trash off my team. So
okay, so now is your own question back to you. How much better does this make the Bulls?
A lot.
Where are they going?
A ton better. And not even. Listen,
come on, man, put some money down. What
money you want? What you want
for the Bulls?
So you want a seeding?
Yeah. Give me a seed.
How many wins we get out of this Bulls team?
Oh, see, I don't know that. I can't even fathom that in my head right now, to be honest with you. But seeding wise, I'm gonna say the Bulls are gonna be a 6th seed in the East. I'm gonna say that because my Kool-Aid is feeling good in my cup. I'm gonna say we are 6. Listen, we're a 10th seed now by being trash. We were a 9th seed yesterday before we lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers. We were 9th, so we were already in it regardless. And you just added an all-star to my team, and then you add Daniel Theis, and I got rid of Luke Cornett off my squad. I got Chandler Hutchinson off my squad, and you don't think I ain't get better?
Who's gonna be the 3-6 matchup?
I'm not worried about that. I'm not concerned about that.
Be worried about
no, I shouldn't. Terrance, I need you to get your Jets fan brain on here with me right now. I'm saying get with me.
As a Jets fan, I'm not just happy to make the playoffs. If you're gonna make the playoffs and get bounced in the first round, you might as well stay home, baby.
Hey man,
what are you talking about, dude? What are you saying? You don't, Terrance. No, bro. We listen.
Trash for 10 years.
I am Eddie Murphy and Coming to America. I am very happy to be here. Very happy to be here. I'm ecstatic right now, man. Dude, because I just know.
We worry about championships a year, 2 years from now down the line. Right now, I'm happy to even be there challenging for a championship.
See, and I understand both of y'all are Lakers fans. I get it. You and Baylor are Lakers fans. Y'all used to winning. I get it.
I was born
y'all don't understand.
I know, right, Baylor. You hear Baylor? He was born in a royalty. I understand, brother. I get that.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I kind of like, don't touch me. Don't touch me. I don't know what that's about. You know what I mean? You said crawling. Shit, that niggas been carrying me since I was. I'm still getting carried. Put me down sometimes.
See, because even when y'all had them 6 years like y'all had, you still had like a ton of championships. Right. Y'all had a ton of championships. And when y'all came out the desert, y'all went straight to the finals, is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like you came out the desert and went to a mansion with full estates. You know what I'm saying? Right. Y'all are fine. We just happy to be here, brother. We are ecstatic right now.
I mean, bro.
You don't understand. I can tell you stories off air about this team, bro. That you'll just be like, what? Like y'all did what?
That's how you double lose.
Come on, man. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
Thank you.
Jim Boylan had a lawsuit against a writer here in Chicago. A lawsuit. Just because he ain't like what he said. Come on, dog. You don't understand what we was going through, brother. It was tough times. Tough time.
They don't. They spoiled. Spoiled brat.
Oh, and then Aaron Gordon. I forgot to mention about Aaron Gordon getting traded to the Nuggets. Was also.
Did that really move the needle though?
For the Nuggets, I think it does. I don't think it gives them size, but they were lacking like that size, man. They really were like size and extra rebounding. They were really lacking
them
that.
In 6.
Yeah.
Instead of 5.
Yeah, comparing them to y'all. Yeah. That's what it's gonna be. You know what I mean? We understand who Thanos is. I get this. But y'all do got to go against the Avengers in the finals. I'm just saying, y'all going to get them Nets in the finals.
Come back the week before the first round, just to tune up.
Oh yeah, y'all. You think we are not concerned about y'all? We know this. We Bulls fans. We know how this works. Like when we grew up watching them win, so we have this much of an idea of what it's like to be dominant and great. The NCAA is at it again. What's that, you ask? Doing their student athletes dirty. For one of the biggest tournaments in sports, which is March Madness, the NCAA thought it was okay to give women hoopers with a pitiful weight set, half a practice arena, and swag bags like it was the Golden Globes. After videos surfaced on this, the NCAA quickly righted the wrong, but the incident highlights the continued issues a lot of people have with this organization. So my question, and I am coming to Terrance first. Are you surprised that the NCAA did this?
Hell no. And the main reason why is because the NCAA don't give a good goddamn about them kids, man. They couldn't care less if they getting taken advantage of. They don't care if they getting, molested by trainers. They don't care if they in unsafe working environments. All they care about is to make sure that the kids ain't getting none of the money that's supposed to be going into the university's pockets. That's all the NCAA is there for, is to make sure they get the money and then distribute the money. And just like you said, the fact that they fixed it so quickly, that shows you they have the money, the resources, and the logistics and all that just to move so quickly and get it fixed and make it look proper. And if they could do that so quickly, then they could have done that from the start. Yeah. It wasn't a space issue. It wasn't a money issue. It was a we don't give a damn issue. It's a girls don't need to work out. We want to get you some makeup. It's trash. The people in charge of this are trash. The people making these decisions are trash. A few of the coaches spoke up, but listen, I know the coaches concerned out there trying to win games, but y'all need to hold the NCAA's feet to the fire, because this organization has authority to ban schools from postseason play, to take away scholarships and do all this stuff. And what again does the NCAA actually do? In college football, the championship is not an NCAA championship. They can EAD, look it up, Mark Emmert and all the rest of them, man. Like, look, it's foul.
I would echo the sentiments of Terrance, and hell no, I'm not surprised. This is typical of this organization. Very white bread, very old thinking, women are not equal type situation there with the NCAA. The NCAA is going to allocate those dollars where they feel those dollars are made most, and that is the NCAA men's basketball program, apparently. However, in this day and age of equity, and just responsibility, you would think they would get this right, and they just totally just piss on it and mess it up. And it's typical. They really don't care.
Baylor, man, I'm definitely want to hear from you on this issue as somebody that has kids that play sports and a person that coaches. How do you feel about the situation? Are you surprised by it, or is this business as usual for you?
Well, honestly, now, I actually am surprised, because Women Empowered Month, you know what I mean? Like, every day we sit there and talk about a different woman, for the month of March. Not only that, like, for the past couple of years, we've been pushing for women's equality, as far as not just the sports, but the film industry, music and things like that. We've been highlighting a lot of actresses and a lot of female rap artists and things like that. You would think the message has been passed on to sports as well. The late, great Kobe Bryant was pushing the narrative. You know what I mean? You had Kyrie donating money, a point guard from the NBA donating money. You know what I mean? Like, and it's crazy, because I remember, when we shut down in a bubble for a couple of the days, the women was the one that was out there actually pressing the line and pushing the message. I'm not gonna lie, we're to blame as well. You know what I mean? Do I think that they need more marketing for the women? I do, a lot more. You know what I mean? At the same time, like, we got to start going to these games just like we will go to a UCLA game or a Duke game or a North Carolina game for the boys. Mm-hmm. My UCLA Bruins ain't been nothing since Westbrook and Kevin Love left. Yet and still, they could put a product on the floor and it's going to sell out. You know what I mean? So they got to do the same for these girls and these women, man. We have to.
I've heard people try to argue it from the men's mean more money and, that's the focus and stuff like that. But dude, there's such thing as decency, and every athlete does two things. They work out and they eat. Those are the two main things an athlete does and has to do to continue to be at the level that they are, is work out and eat. So when you remove that from a group of athletes and give them lesser, it says a lot about where your mind state is as a person. Forget as a group. Somebody had to say, you know what? Yeah, that's cool to use that weight that you got off of overstock.com. It made it seem like you still thinking like they out there playing in high heels or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really is mind blowing to me. Like, to cut off half a court, like you said, feeding them banquets and chicken pot pies and like, all right, you good. like giving them little curls like this, like, all right, you're fine. When they work out at their colleges, they're working out in a gym, like a gym with all the state-of-the-art weight set and everything. That's not a different weight set. They're pumping the same weights. And forget basketball, I'm talking, all of the sports, you know what I'm saying? Like lacrosse, tennis, swimming, all of it. They're athletes and they have to work out and they've got to eat. And there has to be an equality that's basic. That's easy stuff. And you got that wrong? And you couldn't fix that? It's a problem.
And so that's exactly like what you said. That was a great point. Like you said, somebody had to sign off on that. Like, and that's what it comes down to, right? Is a priority, because that the decision to give them those horribly less resources, that passed through some hands.
Right.
That wasn't an oversight.
Right.
More than one person saw that and approved it for it to happen. Mm-hmm. And again, like the women's tournament, they still got a big, huge money-making contract that needs to be fulfilled.
Yeah. Okay.
COVID's still here.
Yeah.
Okay. But they still got these kids out there playing these games.
Right.
But taking care of them is not a priority. That's what it comes down to. It's not a priority to market them. Yo, look, if y'all don't know the name Paige Beckers, look it up, man. She is balling. I'm sorry, she is balling. Come on,
Terrance. That's
killing it right now. Okay. Oh, you know what I mean? Like next year, she's getting Ozzie Fudd to join her, and UConn is going to continue to reign. They reigning like the Lakers. Matter of fact, they're reigning like John Wooden and UCLA did. But you don't hear about them talked about like that. You don't ever hear about them talked about like that, because it's a priority to market the men's game and lift them up. It's not a priority to market the women's game and lift them up. Like just based on the sheer numbers, like the dynasty that they had at UConn is almost uncomparable.
Tennessee,
you don't hear it talked about and praised in that way. And so, that's what it comes down to. It's a lot of things about the society that we lived in. And look, we all, everybody on this panel here is a man, you know what I mean? Like we all just make it a point, you know what I mean? We talk about basketball. Let's bring these sisters up. Let's give them love. You know what I mean? The current stars, Chene and NECA, you know what I mean? Like the big ones that are out there doing it right now, you know what I'm saying? So let's make sure that, we give the WNBA love, when we see a fly WNBA highlight, let's circulate it. You know what I mean? Let's all do our part and lift up the women's game. And in turn, right, there's a little girl somewhere on Twitter who's going to see that getting more play. And like I said, this is one time when we can all affect the change in a little bit. So let's do that.
And shout out to my niece Olivia Falls. You know what I'm saying? Plays at Eureka College, is the best player on their team. I call her Lil Karl Malone. She's a monster. She's a beast out there for real. But Baylor, you had said like you wanted to add a point to that, sir.
To piggyback off of what he just said, I think like the support that we need to start giving is like actually going to these games, the retweets, like you said. Now I would hope she's old enough to be on Twitter, but I get it. I get it. The retweets, the posting on IGs and stuff like that. Like we could do our part too. And maybe we can go a step further and say we might have to start writing some letters and start complaining. You know what I mean? If they get enough voices, they might have to change some stuff. You already know once it hit that press, then they gonna start getting pressed. Then they got to do something.
And I appreciate all you brothers' opinion, because all of y'all are fathers of girls. You know what I'm saying? Have daughters. So that's why I really wanted to hear y'all opinion on that. So I really do appreciate that for real. After much pressure that was put on the studios, Zack Snyder's Justice League has come out on HBO Max. The movie is a different version and vision of the original Joss Whedon cut. Snyder's cut is rated R and is 4 hours long. Reviews have been generally positive, but it's not without its flaws. So Tone, I'm gonna ask you first. Was this better than the original or a 4 hour waste of time?
No, it definitely wasn't a 4 hour waste of time. It's definitely better than the original. I see people complaining about the darkness of it. I love that part, but I got a dark soul. So with that being said, this is the thing about this Zack Snyder cut.
Okay.
Everything is mad dramatic.
Yes.
He is making the mundane stuff dramatic and the dramatic stuff even more dramatic. Let me just slow it down here.
Yes.
Let you just breathe in the scene here. Look at this. And, let me add the singing, the choirs and all this stuff. And let me make it darker. It's kind of over artsy, but at the same time, I'm like, this is the kind of crap that I want from my directors. I want this. I want something bloated, over bloated. Give it to me. You know what I'm saying? Give me your vision, put it out, and let me just get lost in it. And it was 4 hours long, man.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I feel like Jimmy Butler after he just gave his whole soul, just exhausted. Dude, and I'm still not finished with it. That's the crazy part about it. I still got about another 50 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 hours that I've seen of it so far, phenomenal.
That's a big word right there. Phenomenal, brother. Okay.
I like it.
Man, he used phenomenal and DC in the same sentence. I'm still trying to get there. I enjoyed the movie. I thought it had some corny scenes in there. Again, their only comedic relief was the Flash. He was solid. He kind of reminded me of Spider-Man a little bit in a way, with the way his jokes was. It was too long because it felt like what Marvel did in 10 years, they tried to do in 4 hours. They also showed how irrelevant Batman is to the world in general. Outside of that, I thought it was pretty good. But again, the most entertaining part of the movie to me was actually the very end. And you can't have an ending like that without Batman. You know what I mean? Because you can't have Joker without Batman. But overall, I thought it was solid. Now, if they was to build off of this, I'm here for it. I like the darkness of it because that's the only way they can really go. You know what I'm saying? Gotham City is a filthy city. You know what I mean? It seems like Gotham City is just everybody's downtown put together. you know what I mean? Like it's filthy, and I feel like that's the only way DC will ever compete with Marvel is that they will go rated R. You know, I mean, they'll still end up losing probably 150 to like 24, but at least we know they're making progress. You know,
Terrance, coming to you, my friend. How did you feel about the movie? Check it out, the 4-hour epic that is the Snyder Cut Justice League.
Yeah, so about that. Listen, I saw a lot of people talking about this, you know, this Justice League, the Snyder Cut, you know what I mean? Dan Snyder, whatever. I was like, yo, let me check this out. So I'm like, yo, let me put this movie on. So I put the movie on, and I'm like, let me just hit the little up button and just see what the timeline is. Like, how long is this? Like, I got a decent amount of laundry to do. How long is this? And that thing said 4 hours. I said, who? Not me, not today, brother. Not today. No, I'm not doing it. I don't sit for Monday Night Raw. I'm not sitting for, you know what I mean? Like, I sit through a football game. That's about it. But 3 hours nonstop, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So then I saw the original maybe not the original, but the 2017 Justice League. That was a nice 2 hours, okay? A good amount of time. And so I watched that, and that was cool. You know what I mean? That was cool. It was solid. And watching the 2017 version, I could totally see how they could want to do another edit. You know what I mean? Like, I see, like, you know, there was one part at the end where, oh man, what happened with my man, the Cyborg, when he's just like, booyah. And I'm like, yo, what? Where did that even come from? Like,
booyah! Booyah! Booyah!
Will I watch that 4-hour one? Maybe in pieces at some point in my life. Maybe watch one this year. Maybe the second half next year.
Okay.
I mean, like, I don't know.
Okay,
but,
all right. Terrance, only got one quick question for you. One, because you said you ain't watching no 3-hour long movie. Did you watch Avengers Endgame?
I did.
We're done. Thank you.
And
We're done.
Was phenomenal.
Yeah. So you'll sit through a 3-hour movie, but just not a DC. Okay. All right.
Yes, I will sit to the 3-hour conclusion of 10 years of my life.
Got you. I understand. All right. I understand. It was a B. And for a 4-hour movie, it shouldn't be a B. I wanted an A. because not only was it 4 hours, it was a P. Diddy remix. So you got to have, pretty much the skeleton of the original movie, and you got to put on all the cool pieces that you wanted to on that skeleton. And your skeleton still came out cross-eyed. You know what I'm saying? Tone, I thought you hit it on the head, Tone, when you were talking about just how dramatic and all the slow motion that it had. That scene with the Flash, rescuing his lady and all that. I get that. But why did that take 45 minutes? That just took way too long for him to do that scene right there. And it just felt like it was overdone. And then it just had to have music with it. Like you said, so the scene when Aquaman goes into the sea, like you put it, to take a bath. And they just start singing. And I'm like, well, is this leading somewhere? And they're like, no, this is leading nowhere. We just wanted to put this in here right here. I don't think it earned its R rating either. I thought the R rating, when I see an R, I want it to be hard R. You know what I'm saying? Like, it felt like it just got an R rating because it said the word fuck. And it was like, oh, you're an R. You know what I'm saying? You get an R for that. But I will say, of course, I like the black suit Superman. That's always awesome things, you know what I'm saying, for comic book nerds like myself. That was awesome to see. I appreciated them coming back and doing Cyborg correctly and giving him a proper story and actually making him look like a hero. I love that aspect of it. I thought that was awesome. So I appreciated those things about it. But for 4 hours, it was a B. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
Hey, I also want to say back, phenomenal was a big word to use, but I meant for the graphics. Like, for graphics for a comic book movie, this is one of the best ones I've seen.
It was cool. Baylor, you wanted to add, Baylor? Go ahead.
What? Because I just now remember, like, they was getting their ass whooped by a herringbone chain the whole goddamn movie. That's what I'm mad about. All Batman had to do was just take his ass to the pawn shop and the movie would have been over.
Hey, how much I get on this one right here? I give you a PS3.
Melting down.
You know what I'm saying? I give you a PS3. Maybe this 45. In this little piece for your washing machine. You get you that right there. But I like that too. I like that villain. They gave him a bigger story. Like, I knew why he was doing what he was doing. So I like that also too. But you're right. I didn't like all the extraness they put on Steppenwolf because it honestly wasn't necessary. You know what I mean? It just felt just overdone, man. Like, it didn't need to be all that.
Dave, who did Batman beat up?
Alfred? Like, who did Batman beat up, dude?
Yeah, Batman is good to win an argument. Get that nigga, bro.
God damn. Oh my God.
Man, right. You live long enough to be a villain. Damn. God, in my lifetime, Batman was everything. And then 2020 hit, and all of a sudden, Batman is like every other cracker in America. I was like, wow. Like, they really had me loving white supremacy.
Wow.
Like, Batman walking around beating up poor people. Man, Batman running around in a bat suit beating up people with mental issues.
Hey, he gotta run because he can't do nothing else. If that skyscraper is tall enough, what he gonna do? He gotta wait on the elevator just like everybody else.
Man, like, Batman is a true villain. And you know what? You heard this theory that Alfred may have killed his parents because he was like some sort of killer himself. Like,
he was a killer. Like, that is Alfred's backstory. Is Alfred was, in that army back where he was a killer. So why would he kill the parents?
So he could take the son and then thus rule they billions.
Like, took a son and then work for him? Like, I don't understand that.
Fake work for him.
Everyone, this is Alfred. I work for him.
I'm going to take care of you.
He's not going to fake bring him. Listen, he's not going to fake bring him his tea. Like, he going to bring him some tea, bro. Like, that's what he going to do. He's not going to fake kick the girl out his house. He going to kick her out. Man.
There's some dark stuff going on with that Alfred character.
Okay. All right.
I'm telling you, bro.
Watch Pennyworth.
I shall.
All right. And now it is time for the world famous final shot. This is when our panel gets time to talk about anything they want to discuss within the world of sports and culture. And this is when they do it. And we're going to start with our guy, the one and only Peloton man himself, our guy Terrance. The final shot is on you.
All right, man. So look, I recently rekindled an old relationship. Okay, I recently reignited an old flame. And listen, I know. Listen, I used to be the type of guy to be like, hey, once you done it out of my life, it's over. You never coming back. I'm moving on. I'm on to better things. Okay, but sometimes you want that old thing back. Okay, and so what I did, I reopened my heart, and I was able to refine the love with my Xbox 360. Oh, my Xbox 360. You've been with me through the good times, through the bad times, through all the new systems that's came out. You are still here. And I neglected you. I let you sit there and collect dust for a long time while I got these new machines. But then I realized that these new machines don't have what you have. And what's that, you ask? NCAA college football. That's really the only thing I want to play. I'm not going to lie. I haven't really enjoyed a Madden game in a long time. I love college football. I love the recruiting. I love the arcade style of play. I love taking a program like Connecticut and turning them into a 5-star dynasty, which I am, by the way. I'm in like year 7 of my program with UConn, and we're a 5-star program. I'm pretty sure we just beat Bama in the Rose Bowl. It's how I'm living. The new college football is going to come out, and it might be cool, but nothing compares to the feeling I got when I went to the local video game store and found me a $3 copy of NCAA 11. The one with Tim Tebow on the cover. And it's not the most crisp graphics, but it still looks good. The game plays good, it's smooth, and it's fun. And listen, I'm just saying, look, don't be so quick to go hop on the new thing. Sometimes the old thing got something. You don't know what you got till you don't got it no more. So I got my old thing back, and I'm good.
Tone, a.k.a. Feast is Famine. The final shot, sir, is on you.
All right, recently, my beloved Chicago Bears signed Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton, the redhead. Andy Dalton. Yet another mediocre sign, which I just gave up, man. I'm off the narcotic of the Chicago Bears. I decided to get off that narcotic, leave that alone, and just I'm not going to be a Bears fan. I'm going to find another team, or I'm going to do what the opposite of what Seinfeld said. Instead of cheering for laundry, I'm going to cheer for my favorite players throughout the league. And that's what I'm going to do. It just don't make sense to be a Bears fan any longer. I can't stand the way they think and they operate. And what they are is old school, and I'm going to say it, white supremacy. They just can't get that disease out of their head. They can't move. They can't do anything. They're not creative. I'm sick of who they hire. I'm sick of who they sign and trade, and they just so consistently white bread that I cannot take it anymore. I'm off that narcotic. I'm not gonna be a fool and still sit here and cheer for these dummies until the owners either sell the team or they get some diversity in their front office. Until that happens, I'm done.
Baylor the Great.
Yeah.
BTG, my friend. The final shot, sir, is on you.
I need people to start saying no. Start saying no to their heroes, because we've been lied to a lot. We've been lied to for a long time. I'm gonna just tell you this. If your hero has to get a wheel alignment and catch an Uber to a fight, you got to start saying no to that. You know what I mean? You got to start saying no. If your favorite superhero got to stop at a stoplight and somebody rear ends them, and he got to get out and exchange insurance information on his way to a fight, You got to start saying no. It's about your worth. It's about your worth, because what if they say, you know what? We're going to have a fight. We're going to have a group fight in the sky. Then what you going to do? One of my favorite quotes that I came up with is, you know, nobody's going to heaven undefeated. You know what I mean? Including Batman. You know what I mean? Because first of all, we don't know how he gonna get there. If he got to drive, he asked out. Last time I remember, heaven is up there. I don't know what that gravel is gonna cling on to. It came, not a cloud. Bruce Wayne, hear me out, because I know you listen to the show. I'm gonna give you this number to a fellow friend of mine. His name is Tony Stark. So you might wanna get in contact with him. He might build you a better suit. You know what I mean? And y'all start picking one goddamn Batman, not the one with the gargly voice.
So I was just reading an article about the University of Texas and students that were protesting the school song, The Eyes of Texas, because it had racist connotations and a lot of its roots in the minstrel shows back in the day. And the people who were against changing it, alumni and donors, were against changing it or kept saying there was no racist connotation and fighting against it or nothing should be done about this. And all I kept thinking in my head was, you know, these kids need to start going to more HBCUs. I want more HBCUs to be looked at by these kids. And the main reason is I would like you to go to a place where they actually care about you and to go to a place where people actually give, for lack of a better term, give a fuck about you and your well-being. It just reminded me of when people say, and rightfully so, that you should never just stay in an abusive relationship. Why would you stay in an abusive relationship? If somebody's doing something to you verbally or physically, you should get out of there. It applies here too, I think. Mm-hmm. Again, this is years and years and years of this, and this is a simple change. This isn't something they're trying to change your, you know, identity of the school or anything like that. Hey, how about you remove something that we think is racist and offensive and just get that out of there and, you know, show us that you care about us. And they're like, nah, we don't want to do that. Go ahead and keep playing your sports and keep giving us your money and hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to this school. That's crazy to me. I think more kids should start looking at HBCUs and using that and not staying in abusive relationships with these colleges who simply keep showing you they do not care about you. I want to encourage more kids to do that. Just look at them and sign it and say, do I really want to go there and deal with somebody who treats me like this? I mean, look at that in your relationships and look at that in your education and look at that throughout your life. So I want more kids to just start looking at HBCUs as an actual option if somebody that is not trying to abuse you or trying to hurt you or demean you or tell you you're wrong when you know you're right about the abuse that you're speaking about. So yes, more HBCUs, kids, and less dealing with this stuff. And that is going to do it for this edition of Open Gym Sports and Culture. And if you want to hear more and a little more tidbits and more cool things that we discussed, please go check out the podcast on the BAWL Sports Network. You could check it out. I promise you it'll be more wonderful things. Terrance and Baylor and Tone have more wonderful things to say on these topics that we heard today here. Or you can just watch this on YouTube too. So it's two ways that you can get this, y'all. There's no excuse to get all this love and affection that we got for you. On behalf of my man Terrance, my man Baylor the Great, and my man Tone, aka Feast is Famine, I am Big Dave, and this is Open Gym Sports and Culture.